forgotten and eldritch, are shared and passed down from ages long forgotten. Until now, those secrets cloaked in mystery, beyond the reach of mortal men laid hidden. But the stars have now aligned, so prepare for Tales from the Game Store.
Ta-da! Welcome back to another episode of Tales from the Game Store, the only segment where we publicly recount our childhood pain on the internet for your amusement. So I am going to take us in the Wayback Machine for this episode.
Ooh. How far back?
Well, I'm 34 now. I'm 34 and I'm not very good at math. And this story took place when I was 13.
Okay.
Oh, so then how far back? This is the math problem. How far back are we going?
1983.
No.
Tell us about your Space Odyssey.
My Space Odyssey from it was like 2000, right?
2001.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. So a young Doug Brecker is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and has been playing Warhammer 40,000 for, I think at this point, like 2.5, 3 years.
Wow.
And it had gotten to the point where I had collected my first really competitive army. I got it made because I went to kind of the best net decker at the store, and I just went to him and I was like, please, show me the wisdom that you have for the Space Wolves. And he was like,
yay, but the small child.
Yeah, I
require better information.
And it was right before my birthday. And I remember, so I took, I would get like $200 for my birthday, $250, which I would then turn into like used models and fix them up and convert them to like spill out like whatever I need for a 2,000 point list. And I went to him and I said, I have this much money and I want to make the most competitive list I can. Can you make me whatever the most broken thing is? And at the time, the most broken thing was Space Wolf Rhino spam with min-size Power Fist units. And it also had really good counterplay to the Khorne Berserker list at the time that was running around. That featured this like crazy demon prince that did 1.5 million attacks and wiped things off the table. It was like, it's like Archeon is now and Age of Sigmar before Archeon existed.
Right.
It was just a bad news bears for everybody involved. They had made this sweet custom trophy for the Youngblood League, and like everybody really wanted to win. So I was showing up. My buddy was actually on the really busted Khorne list that I was talking about.
Nice.
And so
Demon Prince.
Yeah. So it was the semifinals of this, and I was playing my opponent who was on Necrons. It was very, very serious, and we got into like turn 3 of the game, and it was like a pretty crowded room, I think. And I remember smelling. It smelled like someone had farted, but it didn't go away. And it started to get worse. And I looked around and I was like, oh no. Oh, like did I have like some and you do quick pat down in that scenario. You're not the problem. You're not the problem, so you're not the problem, so it's not that.
Right.
But then you realize, which is almost as bad as you being the problem, is that it's your opponent. And this man has not made a move to navigate the situation on his end at all. And to be fair, this man is also a 12-year-old child while I'm a 13-year-old child. Right. And we are in the throes of combat for the greatest trophy in the galaxy. Yeah. We're trying to be the king of the mini nerds.
Yeah.
That's what's on the line. And so this kid basically did a shart and like refused to abandon his post while playing me.
He got hard,
and I was also forced to not, I was forced into the situation, and so I remember playing and being like, man, what if it's part of his strategy? What if his strategy?
Oh my god!
What if his strategy was to be like, oh, it's really close. What if I just? Oh my god!
It's a strong play. That's a strong play.
What are the other reasons? I mean, listen, man. To be fair, I'm in the moment. I'm battling for.
I guess it's.
What else are you gonna tell me? Like I'm trying to navigate the scenario.
That's the question.
That is true.
You know. To this day, I actually think about that. I'm like.
And we have him here tonight.
And he's like around the corner. He's around the corner, and he's grown up to be the most reasonable human of all time.
Oh no!
That would be the best. So yeah, TLDR.
They hadn't invented dynasties yet.
Young teenage Doug goes to Youngblood tournament, and opponent in the semifinals poops himself and forces me to play through I beat him victoriously, and then my friend lost to me and has been salty about it for like 20 years. And now when we hang out and casually watch like football or whatever, I bring it up and he still is salty and it's great.
Nice.
The best I have to present through just like things that just kind of slowly happened, I wound up effectively cosplaying as Bandit Keith at my local game store when I went to play Yu-Gi-Oh! For those that don't know, because it's old school Yu-Gi-Oh! At this point, there's a lot of people that probably don't. Bandit Keith was a character from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime that played like machine monsters, and effectively what had happened, my father is a union iron worker, and one time when he was at a job, he got a couple bandanas that were in the shape of the American flag. They were pretty cool and nifty, and I was just like, oh, cool, you're giving me these gifts, which he did with like a lot of clothing stuff that he would get when he was getting stuff like that.
My dad would give me work stuff and I'd wear it and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I just put it on. I would wear it all the time whenever I could when I wasn't like at school or whatever, because I just liked how it felt on my head. Back before I had all of my wonderful hair.
Your beautiful locks.
But
who can say?
So I had the bandana. I would go there, and that was the first thing I had. Then, after a few months of going to that locals place for a little bit, my dad was teaching me how to play poker, and I had a pair of aviators that I just happened to be wearing, and he said, "Oh, those give you a really good poker face. It's hard to read your expression because they just cover your entire eyes."
So boom, it hit the ensemble.
Yeah, exactly.
You got two pieces so
Yeah,
far.
so I the next time I went to that locals, I just wore the glasses. because
Obviously.
it
Were
worked out.
they normal-sized aviators?
Yeah, okay,
Because
yeah,
you
there's
were a
different
child.
sizes.
I was like 13, 14.
So
they
they
were
look
like-
big and crazy on
They
your
looked a
head?
little big, but not like insanely huge on me. A few months after that, I was going to this local fair that happens yearly.
When I-
When I was there, I was just kind of poking around stuff, trying to get something to be memorabilia, because I couldn't really find a lot of things that I liked. And there was a leather bracelet that had metal stars across it and studs across the whole thing.
Oh, so independently, you're already rocking the bandana.
Yep.
You already had the aviators on.
Yep.
And you were like, this is super cool.
Because it was super cool. I still have that thing,
Totally.
actually. It's lying around at home somewhere.
Totally, man.
And it's
then-
here tonight. Okay.
And he's here tonight,
Again.
being worn by the guy that cooked himself.
Yeah, exactly. We get it all tied together.
That's how we tie it all together, boys.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started wearing it, and I think eventually someone pointed out, "You look like Bandit Keith." I'm like, "I do? Oh, okay, I guess I do." And I started getting called Bandit Keith at my local.
But was it, hold on, just like, when he said that, you didn't know who Bandit Keith was?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's the
As a
funniest
young
part.
child, I didn't really watch that
you
old school.
weren't.
So
So
TLDR, I went to a locals as like a 14-year-old, wound up through several months of just acquiring things, happened to learn character from the anime, started getting called as that same anime character.
And I like to call it the oops accidental Bandit Keith cosplay story.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what that is.
It's great. It's hilarious.
We're going to travel all the way back to 2019. So I we used to play this card game. It was called Legend of the Five Rings. I was traveling to Worlds at the time. I was with a few of my buddies who played, Ronnie and Drew. Shout out to y'all. And we had to qualify for this event by going to various different conventions and tournaments, and I qualified.
So it was a Worlds qualifier.
This year was a Worlds qualifier, yeah.
Okay.
So, you had to qualify at the qualifier.
Were you trying to be the best there ever was?
Well,
Like,
I, in
like
fact,
no one ever was before?
Like, no one ever was.
Was to catch
Well,
them
to
all.
catch all 5 of the rings was my real task. And
Oh,
Was to
okay.
train them your cause.
To
No.
wear them?
No, I guess to
To
was
wear
your
them,
cause.
'cause, yeah.
Was your cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we flew out to Fantasy Flight headquarters, which was in Minnesota in December. Great place in December if you've ever been. Minnesota, love it. And
I guess I didn't remember Fantasy Flight made that game.
They did, yeah. They made a lot of games that
Yeah.
they have continued, and it's fine. I'm happy about it. So, travel to Worlds. It was a 2-day tournament for the to qualify for the top cut. I was playing on the second day to qualify, so I got to have a break on the first one. But after the 7 rounds of the qualifying stage, I was poised at 3-3. I was playing a good friend of mine, Jordan.
Okay.
So we both at that point were win 3, lose 3, and I was playing the Scorpion deck, which was like sort of like a direct damage, burn, dishonor sort of strategy. And he was playing Unicorn, which
You running a
frankly-
dishonor deck? Shocking.
and,
Right.
and so the Unicorn deck, quite frankly, at that time in the game, stomped the shit out of the Scorpion
Naturally,
deck.
yeah.
And so, he was favored to win probably 70-30. But I
those are not good odds.
trounced him. It was great. But I was looking at the breakers, and so at the time, the system that they had was if you came in the actual place, or if you were the top person in your faction outside of the actual placing event, you got in anyway. They brought in one of every clan. That way they made sure that they had all 7 clans in attendance for every day too.
Man, what a good way to keep
And
representation up.
the 3 players that I had lost were in like 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So I had enormously good breakers. So looking
Were
at
you the
I was the favored Scorpion Challenger.
You were
a good friend of mine who is really well known for like scooping people into top cuts walked by the back of it. So my opponent couldn't see him, but I could, and we just sort of locked eyes, and I was like, Jordan, can I see the match slip real quick? I just want to, and then I grabbed it, filled it out real quick, and handed it to the judge because I conceded, thereby guaranteeing Jordan in at 4-3. So he was definitely in day 2, and I was certain that I was going to be the clan challenger. Okay. So I walked around and schmooze for a couple minutes with some people, and
as Scorpions are known to do.
As we're known to do. And so I catch a view of Ronnie and Drew out of the corner of my eye, and I walk over, and they look very concerned. I thought, and this was the first time I've ever seen.
And you were like, you were walking over, you like,
yeah, I was like, I got it, I'm clan challenger.
Did you do the finger guns?
I did, always finger guns. Yeah.
Always, thank you.
Thanks. And Ronnie looked like, I thought that one of his relatives had died and he was going to have to like emergency fly back home to Boston.
Whoa.
But it turns out that we were about at time. And the TLDR, the point system in L5R is to favor honorable concessions, because we're all honorable samurai, you actually lost match points if you went to time. And the win, unless you got a full win, you like were seriously docked points, match points in the tournament if you didn't concede.
And neither player was...
And the final table that was playing, the final day of the qualification for Worlds 2019, was 2 people, this brilliant Scottish dude from Scotland, and a Scorpion player. And that Scorpion player was locked for the top cut as long as he won or lost his match. Either way, wouldn't matter. You get a minimum points if you lose. He was locked either way. But he thought that he could play out the match. So he did, and he thought he could win as a dishonor deck against the Crane honor deck.
The Scottish Crane honor deck?
Crane honor
he
deck.
dared challenge the Scottish...
And so it turns out that he was very wrong about that.
So it turns out...
And because he then dropped out of his guaranteed place in, he made himself have to actually play in a round instead of getting a bye.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because he became the Scorpion Challenger. And because I was previously the Scorpion Challenger, having won my game to get into the day 2 of Worlds 2019, conceding to my friend to also get him in, got bumped out of contention and therefore did not make day 2.
So, so TLDR?
Yeah. So the TLDR is, I thought I was a lock for getting in win or lose, and so I conceded, I scooped my friend in so that we could both play into the final qualification of Worlds for L5R 2019. And because some dude didn't know that he could have just conceded and won and got in anyway and done better overall for himself, he then proceeded, by the way, to lose his win and in. And because of course he did. So I got bumped out of Worlds and then had to...
Thanks for joining us, folks. If you guys have some cringy, weird stories, let us know in the comments. We are always looking for internet fodder, and, we're just going to keep talking about awkward experiences that we have, but it makes us feel better, I think, if other people tell us theirs.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
One of these days, I'm going to have to tell everybody about Dragon King.
Whoa.
Oh,
that sounds like an epic.
Oh, it's going to be. At some point, somebody is going to have to hit record on it.
And how did you not hit record at the camera?
Is that what I was supposed to do?
I think it's a bad idea to question the leadership of a demon in general.
Oh, I agree. Please,
it was in the winter.
Love of God, tell me he was not wearing shorts. Where did the kid, your opponent, the background opponent, go?
To the bathroom?
I hope. We can only hope.
Slightly before the Gladiator Beast format, which is into the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime era, which is when I started watching.
The words that you're saying don't...
I know they don't recur to you. I'm a functional adult. Don't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah,
everybody,
grab the fan in post.
If we're too lazy to actually put it in post, just
go. Pretend.
Go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too with the...
Yeah.